Are you training your abs enough? Well, even if you told me you did them 7 days a week, my answer to you would be no. Let me explain in today's video. What's up guys, Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. Ab training, how much is too much? Well, if you've seen any of my videos here on our channel, you know I've gone on record to say that I believe 5, 6, and even 7 times a week ab training is great. Why? Because these resilient postural muscles are built for that. These guys are ready to take on the work, and the more frequent the work, the better. Now that goes contrary to pretty much everything else I believe when it comes to training. We have a very specific dose that muscles can handle, that beyond that we wind up overtraining and causing damage. The abs, because of their ever constant firing throughout the day, these muscles are different and built for more volume. That said, is that all you need to do, right? 5, 6, 7 days a week? No, of course you obviously need to have your nutrition in place, because even the best ab program with the shittiest diet leaves you with the shittiest abs, okay? There's just no way around it. But there's more than that. We talk about direct ab training and then indirect ab training. And for anybody that's familiar with ATHLEAN-X, you should know all about the core being at the core of every single exercise we do. So what I wanted today to do was to show you, what about abs? Can we have a workout where we highly target the abs and work them on every single thing we're doing, but we're not even directly training them? So let me go and break down muscle group by muscle group an example exercise that's going to highly integrate the abs without us feeling as if we're training the abs directly. You add those two together, indirect and direct ab training, you've got a pretty powerful combo. Okay, so let's start right off the top. Chest, right? We take a single arm dumbbell bench press. As you can see, when I demonstrate this exercise, if I have a dumbbell in one single hand and I lower it down to that side, obviously 60, 70, 80 pounds, that's all pulling in that one direction. So there's a lot of demand on my core to pull myself back, keep my trunk from rotating in the same direction that dumbbell is dropping. If you want to make this extra challenging, you want to make it a little less of a chest exercise, then lift the leg on the same side of the dumbbell, and that's going to make it even harder for you to resist the rotation. Next we look at back. Right? The king of all back exercises, the pull-ups. But as you see with this one slight modification of the exercise that I'm doing here, the knees come up, we get a tremendous amount of core activity. Matter of fact, we stress the lower abs, which is even better because these are even harder for us guys to target. Now, how do I know this? Because as you guys might remember, if you've been watching me for any length of time, having a hernia surgery, I went through and tried to do my recovery and speed it up as fast as possible. I was down on the ground doing crunches literally 3 days later, but for 3 weeks I couldn't even suspend myself off of a pull-up bar. Why? Because it's one of the most demanding core exercises. As soon as you lift your feet off the ground while hanging from a bar, you already ignite those abs. So yet another way, just by pulling your knees up, to really engage the abs. At the same time, you're getting that old classic killer back exercise going. Next one I demonstrate here is for the shoulders, our seated long leg press. We all know pressing overhead, tough activity, even harder when we're on the ground, right? And on our butts. Because when we get our legs out in front of us, we're really taking away any of the leverage that we once had with our legs underneath us. Now, normally guys, I want you on your feet for every exercise that you do, because that's being athletic. However, in this case, we're going after a different target here. We're trying to work the shoulders, take away any momentum, force them to do a lot of work, but at the same time, because our trunk has to stay upright, as you see me fighting here to keep myself upright, that's what's going to make the core work overtime. Moving on to the biceps, our incline variable curls. Now, look at me do here what looks like a regular incline dumbbell curl, but wait, what's that? As I come up, I actually am changing the angle of where peak contraction occurs, right? In an incline curl, peak contraction occurs down here in the 45-degree range of motion. However, as I sit up, not only am I shifting that focus to the end range a little bit more to get a little bit more peak contraction, but as you can see, the abs are working as well. So a nice way to integrate abs, again, without even thinking about it, into a standard, classic, effective bicep exercise. You guys know I love this one, the body weight tricep extensions. This is a classic exercise that's basically our way to take the great nose breaker, skull crusher type exercise and turn it into something we can do anywhere with just our body. You can do it on the back of a couch. But as you can see, this is sort of an elaborate plank exercise, right? Besides what we're doing up with the arms, you can see that the plank is established through the rest of the body. You've got an established plank, you've got a tough tricep exercise with, of course, a heavy dose of core. Finally, we wrap it all up with our leg exercise, an overhead dumbbell lunge. Now, before you start thinking, I know the lunge, great exercise, but how's it work in my core? Well, take those dumbbells away from your sides and put them up over your head. Thoracic extension is demanded in order for you to do this exercise, and along with that, heavy core stabilization. As you can see, as I'm doing this exercise, I'm going to have to lighten the weight because it's a completely different feeling and a completely different challenge for our bodies than what we're used to if we're used to having those dumbbells held at our side. But yet again, you can see core at the core of everything we do, whether it be direct or indirect work. So there you go. How much core training is too much? Well, if you're just doing your direct ab work, guys, not enough, right? As we see, core work needs to be done more, right? We need to be able to integrate direct and indirect work, and it doesn't even matter, even if you're following our six-pack ab app, our six-pack promise plus, you're not going to get enough of the combination of the two. You need to start integrating it into everything you do. This is exactly what ATHLEAN-X training is all about. If you haven't already, guys, head over to ATHLEAN-X.com and grab our 90-day training program. Remember, I said even the best ab training workout, direct and indirect, is not going to do anything for you if you have a whole bunch of fat overlaying that. That's why we got you covered in the program as well with our ATHLEAN-X Factor meal plan. It's geared to help you strip off the fat, but at the same time, maximize the muscle that you have. Right? This is not about creating skinny guys. This is about creating lean, ripped, and athletic guys. All right? I'll see you guys over at ATHLEANX.com. In the meantime, if you found this helpful, which I hope you did, you'll see that there's more to ab training than maybe you thought, but there is a solution. There's ways to do it. So I will be back here in just a few days. Leave your thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Remember, I'm getting a lot of my ideas for my videos based off of the questions that you guys leave below. See you guys back here in just a few.